Yours has healed beautifully, though.
Avallac'h. He prepared some special ointments for me. But that was before the curse gripped him. Wonder where he is now.
We lifted the curse. He's at Kaer Morhen, waiting for you.
Are you serious? You must be. You'd not jest about something like that. A nice thing to wake up to.
You trust him?
Avallac'h? He's not let me down to date. Not once.
Why exactly is Avallac'h helping you? Sages have never been fond of humans.
He doesn't do it for me. It's about my power. As if it could ever be about anything else. Avallac'h tried to teach me how to control my ability. He was also making sure I didn't fall into Eredin's hands.
How'd you ever start traveling with Avallac'h?
As soon as I'd left you and Yen on the Isle of Avalon, I found myself pursued. Eredin and his Red Riders were on my heels. I fled through many worlds, many times. They came very close to catching me once. It was then that Avallac'h appeared, out of nowhere. He found a portal, and took us to a world where Eredin couldn't find us for, perhaps half a year.
So tell me how it happened, step by step.
Eredin located us mere moments after we landed on Avallac'h. Soon after, he and his riders surrounded us. I thought it was over, the end. Turned out Eredin had other plans. He produced the phylactery, uncorked it. A fog enveloped us, and Avallac'h began gasping for air.
That's how Eredin cursed Avallac'h, triggered his transformation into Uma?
Yes. He didn't wish to kill him. Humiliation, that's what he was after. But Avallac'h refused to succumb without a fight. He cast a spell that wrought havoc in the Hunt's ranks.
And in a full half of a forest on Ard Skellig.
Yet it also gave us time to flee. Avallac'h opened a portal. I leapt in. He was supposed to follow right behind me, but something went awry. Impaired by the curse, he failed to reach the portal in time. We had agreed that if anything went wrong and we were separated, we would meet at his hideout in Velen.
But you failed to meet there.
Yes, we failed to. Once through the portal, instead of at Avallac'h's hideout, I landed right in the middle of Crookback Bog. I didn't even realize the guardsmen were driving me into a trap. Suddenly there I was, and I knew I had to disappear. At once.
And that's when you landed back in Skellige.
The shore of Hindisfjord. The first pleasant place that came to mind. Hjalmar and I used to swim there.
Wait, so you actually wound up there by accident? I thought you and Avallac'h had arranged something.
No, he simply sensed me use my power. Just as Eredin can sense where I am, where I travel.
They're all here. Everyone you asked for help. Avallac'h's resting in the tower, still in pretty bad shape. No reason to do it out here. Come inside.
Quiet, Timothy.
Avallac'h is weak, but alive. Triss is tending to the others.
Varfail. For those who remain, death should never take precedence over life. Pay your last respects to your friend. Then we must hold council. Zyrel can harness immense amounts of the power. Why has no one taught her to control this?
Actually, some did teach her.
Clearly to no effect.
I'll gladly argue with you about this, some other time.
Haven't had a chance to talk. Thanks for your help. And for looking after Ciri.
You will thank me later. Now we must take Zirael from here, hide her, and then gather a greater force.
Anyone, everyone we could count on came here to Kaer Morhen.
Which is why we must seek the help of enemies. Magic is our best defense against the hunt. We need sorceresses. Archmistresses of magic.
You mean the Lodge?
I don't want the Lodge anywhere near Ciri. Just don't trust those women.
What would you have us do instead? Fight alone and die a beautiful but pointless death? No, Geralt. By some miracle, we survived that fight, eking out a measly victory at enormous cost. No more guerrilla warfare. Time to face the enemy in open battle. I've made an agreement with the Emperor. In exchange for its help, the Lodge will be granted amnesty and find asylum in Nilfgaard. That will be our bargaining chip. Triss, I wish to leave today to find the sorceresses. Will you help me?
Of course. Even got an idea where you could start.
Damn it! Again you planned without even asking what I think. I've had enough of this. I won't be taken somewhere like a bundle. I will not sit and twiddle my thumbs. I am sick of waiting, sick of hiding.
You're right. Prove today you can take care of yourself.
Easier to pat someone on the back and hope things will work out than it is to face the truth. Zirael possesses a great power she cannot control. She is a danger to herself, to others. Until she learns to control it, she should remain isolated.
First of all, bollocks. Second, if you're going to speak of courage, at least address me directly, and not through Geralt. I'm gone.
Ciri needs time.
True, but she also needs training. She must learn to control her abilities.
This training really necessary?
You saw what happened. She could be a greater threat than the hunt.
Fine. We'll stay here a while longer, then join you and Triss in Novigrad. Meet at Dandelion's Inn.
Come on, Yen. The sooner we leave, the better.
See ya. Better go after her.
Wait, she needs time. We must let her resolve her grief on her own. Then we should start training as soon as possible. She must learn to control her abilities.
It's not working, don't you see?
Discouraged after a mere 8 attempts? Zirael,
How many times must I try?
as many as it takes.
But I'm not getting anywhere.
We shall return to this later.
Didn't make it far first time out on the gauntlet either.
Geralt, please, not now. By comparison, the gauntlet was a walk in the park. But that's not the point.
What is?
Avallac'h says nothing will come of this until I stop thinking about the battle. Geralt! Geralt! Wake up!
What? What's happening?
Get up. We must go. I've saddled the horses.
Ciri, it's the crack of dawn. Where do you want to go?
To Velen. Bald Mountain. But a few days till the Witch's Sabbath. And guess who's the guest of honor?
Don't know and don't really care, to tell you the truth. After this training with Avallac'h, we were gonna ride to Novigrad. Remember?
Change of plans. Imlerith will be at the Sabbath. We'll get him there.
Where'd you get this idea? What's gotten into you?
I must avenge Vesemir. The Sabbath. It's the perfect opportunity. Imlerith will be drunk among his cohorts, caught up in the revelry. He'll not expect the blow,
Why do I doubt Avallac'h's a fan of this idea?
Do you see him here? I left him a letter. We'll rejoin him in Novigrad. Come. We shall talk on the way.
Geralt found Ciri at last, on the Isle of Mists where the elven mage had concealed her. There was no time to rejoice, for the wild hunt descended on them. They fled, Ciri teleporting them to Kaer Morhen, where their friends awaited. The wild hunt arrived at Kaer Morhen soon after. A great battle ensued, and the fortress's defenders might all have perished had Ciri not demonstrated her powers. So sudden and violent was her outburst that the wild hunt was forced to withdraw. The battle was won. The war had barely started.
Avallac'h claims vanity is Imlerith's greatest weakness.
Vanity?
Any foe he faces, he strives to impress. The other one, Caranthir, is said to be secretive and pragmatic. Hardly surprising, given he was Avallac'h's student.
One tough son of a bitch.
We've no time to lose. I'll tend to Imlerith, you take the crones. Avallac'h said they dwell below the oak, among its roots.
No chance. I'm going after Imlerith.
Fine, let's play for it. Rock, paper, scissors.
Ah, and that elf of yours moved into the Ruby Suite. Told me to tell you he's waiting too.
Gave him your best room?
He didn't exactly ask. I prepared another room for him, but he blew past me and locked himself in the Ruby. Hasn't peeked out since. Barely eats, drinks only water, and the only thing I've heard from him is, I wish to know when Windblade and Zariel arrive.
Thanks. Looks like I'll have my hands full. Need a hanky? Gotta admit, never expected this of you.
You humans have, unusual tastes. How did you fare on Bald Mountain?
Need to ask? You're a sage.
I ask as a courtesy. A concept you clearly forgot when you left without uttering a word.
Ciri was in a hurry.
I know, so she wrote in her letter. But that is not my concern. You eliminated Imlerith adeptly. So adeptly, you might say you inspired me.
Skip the guessing games. I'm tired.
The loss of one of his great generals has weakened Eredin significantly. 2 others remain.
How do we get rid of them?
Caranthir is a loyalist, but Gels, that is another story. He was a devoted follower of our former king. And as it happens, Eredin poisoned our beloved ruler.
You make it sound important. So, guess it's not exactly common knowledge.
I'd even call it a secret.
How do you manage to hide it?
Oh, I assure you he's excellent at covering his tracks, though not terribly subtle. But I'm even better at uncovering them.
Regicide. Serious stuff. Take it not many know about this.
Of the living, only I. And Eredin, of course.
Question is, can you get Gels to believe you?
Nothing you need worry about.
How do you know? Or are you bluffing?
Eredin made sure very few individuals knew of his betrayal. Most are now dead.
Didn't answer my question.
How matters not. What matters is, I know. And I've an idea how to use this knowledge.
Fine. So what do you propose?
Why, to bring Gels here. Show him the truth of what happened.
Fabulous plan. If we only knew where to find him.
We do. In the land of the NL.
Land of the NL?
You don't recall. After all, you did travel with Eredin for some time. The land of the Alder folk. The world where we arrived centuries ago. A world that is now our home. The Red Riders come from there. And it is there where we will find Gels.
Haven't mentioned killing Gels.
Such drastic means are not always necessary.
So you probably plan to offer him a deal.
Brilliant deduction. Bravo.
Want a deal? talk to him, trust him. I'd rather just kill him.
That is precisely one of the reasons why Gels abhors your world, your senseless brutality. At times, one must use reason rather than blades.
Fine. So what do you propose?
Why to bring Gels here? Show him the truth of what happened.
Fabulous plan, if we only knew where to find him.
We do. In the land of the NL.
Think you're forgetting something. You and Ciri might know how to travel between worlds, but me? Not so much.
You clearly know there are many other worlds apart from the one where we now stand. They're linked by passages, hidden gateways that afford travel from one world to another. Of course, few know of these gateways, even fewer can locate them.
Elven sages, for example?
For example. One such passage will open soon near where we are, fortuitously enough. Between this noble edifice and the butcher's yard. That's our chance. Shall we go?
Meet you there. Gotta see to something along the way.
Hurry. I'd rather not loiter in the street any longer than necessary.
I know this house. Supposed to drive a godling from here.
Supposed to?
Decided it was harmless.
This is the place. Once we enter, there'll be no returning until we reach Gels. Ready?
Yes, let's go.
Remember, wherever you land, search for a place that looks like this one. We shall meet sooner or later.
Mean we'll be separated?
It's possible. I lack your ward's talent. Zirel is the lady of time and space. I merely know how to use this arcane knowledge to a limited degree. It's time.
I hate portals.
Welcome to the Didowet Desert.
There's somewhere in our world?
Ever seen such canyons in your world? Come, we must go.
What is this place?
A very old world, thoroughly raped and destroyed.
Anything live here?
Mainly desert creatures, able to survive months on end without water. Oh, and large sand crabs beneath the surface. We must be careful they don't sense us.
And before? Were there any people? Or elves?
Do you believe humanoids have a monopoly on destroying worlds?
So what did live here? Sentient monsters of some sort?
Look at those cliffs. Remind you of anything?
Look a bit like the bed of a giant river.
Or the bottom of a sea.
Mean there were water creatures here once?
No creatures. Merely a sea.
Trying to say that
there are many different worlds and even more forms of life. Many of them intelligent, much more so in fact than you humans. But as it turns out, not even that could stop them from exhausting all the resources of their world. To the last drop. Ah, the portal.
looks more like a ruin.
Appearances can be deceiving.
So what are we waiting for?
For it to open. Shouldn't take but a few moments.
What's going on?
The sand crabs have sensed our presence.
Wonderful.
Careful! As soon as the ball... Very good. Jump in!
Avallac'h. There it is.